I haven't been back to Vancouver since August. There are many things I miss, but one of them is food. The dining hall here can sometimes be questionable. Needless to say, going into this reading week, I was famished.
In this video, I'll take you guys with me on the top meals and restaurants that I went to. Strap yourselves in and maybe grab a snack as well, because I think you might leave this video a bit hungrier than you came in. Let's go.
Guys, we have just landed. My luggage is still in the trunk. Look at the weather outside. This is crazy. Okay, anyways, we're headed to our first restaurant.
First up, we went to Raisu, one of my favorite Japanese restaurants in all of Vancouver. We got a 2-person lunch set, which came with a really fresh uni and sashimi platter. I mean, this just looked absolutely insane. You make a hand roll with the seaweed and fish, which was really tasty. It also came with these uni shooters with fresh salmon roe and a bunch of other stuff that I don't really know, but it was also good.
That's good.
On top of that, I also wanted to try out this yuzu cream cheese block with garlic bread. I mean, just looking at it on the menu, I had to give it a try. It did not disappoint because the cream cheese was light, fresh, and had this citrusy flavor that paired perfectly with the crunchy garlic bread. Now the real star of the show came. This was their seafood bowl, and I mean, just look at how pretty the presentation was and how everything was arranged. It was light, delicious, and all under a perfectly cooked base of white rice that was so much better than the dining hall in McGill. The shrimp was refreshing, the tamago was not too sweet but still had a really unique texture, and overall it was an awesome bowl. I also don't know if this is breaking some sashimi rules or anything, but I totally spread some cream cheese from before onto the fish, which turned out much better than I expected. Next up for part of the lunch set came these 2 hand rolls, which were beautifully laid out and ready for us to wrap up and absolutely demolish. The fish basically melted in my mouth. For our second main, we got their spicy lobster cream udon, and I do not lie when I say that the broth was perfectly balanced between the creaminess and the savory taste. The saffron, eggs, and lobster all paired together really well, and the udon noodles were cooked to absolute perfection. Safe to say at this point, I was satisfied, but we weren't done yet because for dessert, we got their yuzu sorbet, which was a perfectly light, citrusy texture and a good end to my first meal back in Vancouver. Overall, Raisu is getting a 10 out of 10.
Alright guys, we just finished lunch. That was so good, but I'm so stuffed now. We're gonna get some groceries and then even more food. Oh my gosh, it's my first time back in the house. It's literally like I'm going someplace new. Like I've never walked. Wait, everything's so crazy. If you guys don't know, I didn't go back until basically like now, obviously, but I didn't go back for spring reading week, and I didn't go back for the winter break. So this is my first time back. It's so crazy to be in here right now.
In the afternoon, I headed to Rain or Shine, one of my favorite local Vancouver ice cream chains, and they actually have a UBC location, so I used to head here pretty often after swim practice. Today, I got their classic malt chalk honeycomb and orange chocolate. The crunchy honey paired perfectly with the chocolatey creaminess, and this was a 10 out of 10. Heading home, I somehow found extra room in my stomach after eating so much, and my mom decided to cook some hot pot for dinner with some family friends over. I'm from Chongqing, so this is pretty common for our household. Needless to say, the beef, broth, and vegetables were all really good, but I was completely stuffed by the end of day 1. I wasn't done though, because our family friend also made us bass cake, which was really nice of her, but I was so full at this point, I just had to eat this though, and it was so rich and creamy.
Alright guys, so this morning, we have some tangyuan and like eggs inside, and this is because for Lunar New Year you celebrate for 15 days after, and so it's traditional to eat tangyuan because as you can see the shape is like round, right? And that just resembles like, you know, everyone together and being a one big round blob. Okay, so
团团圆圆.
yes, very nice.
These white glutinous balls were perfectly chewy and paired perfectly with the warm rice soup. Definitely a good way to start off the morning. For lunch that day, we went to my all-time favorite Korean barbecue restaurant, Sura, which is known for its extensive side dishes and of course, their meat. We got their royal pork galbi, which came with these 2 thick slices, and pairing it with the kimchi was just perfect. It had a really rich flavor, especially after dipping it in the sauce and having it with the white rice. That was, again, so fluffy and cooked perfectly compared to what I was used to. On top of that, we also got beef sundebujigae, which is spicy beef with tofu soup. It also came with an egg that I mixed in with my rice and created a basically perfect bowl. Next up, we got the seafood pancake, which looked absolutely insane with all the octopuses and other things just sticking out all over the place. I dipped it in the sauce and very yummy was guaranteed. But this was my main star of the meal. It is japchae. You have no idea how bad I was craving this back in Montreal, and when this came, I got so excited. These sticky sweet potato noodles can wrap me around in the blanket all day, and I would never ever go to class. Obviously, Sura is getting a 10 out of 10. Straight across from Sura was this bakery, and I had to control myself from basically not buying out the whole store. I mean, just look at these pastries and bread. Anyway, since we were in Richmond, we had to stop by this store I found online where apparently they have a whole mango wrapped in rice mochi.
So this is like basically just mango wrapped around in a freaking
So
mochi.
big.
Hold on. Wait, that's so good. Guys, this is like so fresh. We just got it. It's like freaking amazing.
For dinner that day, we went to Lin Cafe, which is a Vietnamese-French fusion cuisine that my friend and I both really like. We met up downtown, and I was feeling adventurous today, so I decided to try a liver pate and also some escargot to start. But to be honest, I was already getting full from the bread, which somehow always happens to me, but is so good. Anyways, if you live in Vancouver, you know that if you come to Lin Cafe, you have to get the pho, so that's what I got and added some bone broth actually, because why not? Turns out though, this was a bad idea because it just made the broth a little bit more fatty than I liked, but overall, it was still a pretty enjoyable meal. 8 out of 10. The next day we went to Whole Foods, which if you don't know, the nickname for it is Whole Paycheck. I don't really know why we shop here when we can go to Save on Foods, but I don't complain because the hot food bar here is absolutely insane. I got their tomato roasted chicken, mac and cheese, carnitas, and also some sweet potato. I also introduced my mom to their cornbread for the first time, which she surprisingly liked as well. Everything was cooked perfectly and I had no complaints.
Alright guys, so today for lunch we're making basically a beef short rib stew. And so I've just chopped up these mushrooms. We're just sort of searing the outside of the beef right now, and I'm about to add the onions in. This is my first time cooking since like forever because there's no kitchen in my thing and I'm not gonna go and buy food, right? So here we go. I'm very excited. Alright guys, we're gonna peel some carrots now. I don't want to do too much because otherwise you're not gonna have any left.
I absolutely crushed my job as a chef, and I was surprised I didn't chop my fingers off after not cooking for so long.
Carrots in, bro. Oh, I just fell to the ground. That's okay. Alright, so it's in. We're just gonna let this stew for about like 2 hours. Wow. Guys, we have 2 ribs here. Or like those, yeah, ribs. And we have a meat ball, some rice, and overall, very good.
So these are the beef ribs with the potatoes and carrots. After only like 3 hours of stewing, it was already pretty tender. But later today, we also ate these for dinner, and it was literally like brisket barbecue fall off the bone, good and tender. Nothing hits like a homemade meal, and this was definitely one of my favorites out of the entire week of eating. The next day, my mom and I were visiting some friends near the UBC pool, so we decided to try out both Steve's Poke Bar and also for me to revisit Down Low Chicken. However, I was infinitely more excited for the Poke Bar. Once we got home, I mean, just look at that spread. How can you not get excited? I've been craving seafood in Montreal for so long, and this hit the spot perfectly.
Oh, it has like little
你嗰啲平平
eggs on the inside.
It's chicken.
The chicken was also perfectly spiced and had such a great flavor. I got chicken breast, but next time I'll definitely get a burger. Poke bar was an 11 out of 10. So good. And the chicken was alright. It was 7 out of 10. For dinner, we went to a restaurant called Radish. We started out with their spinach and pesto dip, marinara meatballs with focaccia, and a salad. But this restaurant is known for their pizza. So we got the Kona, which had pineapple and ricotta, which went surprisingly well together, both in terms of the tanginess of the fruit and smoothness of the cheese. We also got their special, which was a sliced spicy salami. And I mean, this was just heavenly. Every bite was so great, especially when we put the chili flakes on top. Anyways, for dessert, we ordered the tiramisu and this vanilla thing, but they actually gave us a chocolate fudge on the house, which was a really nice surprise. My stomach, though, was literally about to explode, but I think it was worth every bite. The next day, my mom and I were in Richmond, so we had to get some Chinese food, and one of our favorite restaurants is called Da. It had this super cozy environment inside. We got their pork lotus soup and stir-fried beef, which was perfectly spicy, and again paired really well with the rice. I'm sure you're getting tired of that at this point. But then we had this light pork broth cabbage soup, which was not too creamy, and very tasty. But for our main attraction, we had to get the water cooked fish. I don't really know how to describe it, but this is a staple in our cuisine. It has these sort of sour vegetables in it, and every bite of that soft tender fish just reminded me of home, and it was better than the last. So this restaurant is definitely one of my favorites. Although we couldn't leave Richmond without trying a snack I craved a lot back in Montreal, which is the doujang youtiao. This is basically a big, long, doughy fried breadstick that was both crunchy on the outside and soft on the inside, and pairs perfectly with the soy drink when dipped inside. If you guys don't know what this is, you guys have to go to TNT or some sort of Asian supermarket just to try it out. It's so good, and I used to have this almost every single day back when I lived in Shanghai. For dinner that night, I met up with one of my swimming friends and went to MangoDango. You know I had to get a Diet Coke. I haven't had ramen in a while, but I guess it was pretty good. Nothing too special here, except my friend got like 5 refills of noodles, which was pretty funny as the servers kept asking if they could take the bowl away. Couldn't leave Vancouver without comparing the UBC dining halls. First off, the naming is kind of weird. Like, why is it just called Feast? Like, are the food choices here just called Meal? Anyways, I was actually pleasantly surprised because they had like 4 stations each with 3 different meal options.
Food review critic
and this means you'll always have plenty of choice. I got their fried chicken tacos plus chip and guac, which was decently crunchy and fresh. After that, we also got their butter chicken, which was so much tender, had no bone, by the way, guys. In case you go to McGill, you know the chicken here, what the situation is with the bone. And it was so good. I'm not gonna lie, I do have to say the UB Dining Hall is substantially better than McGill in terms of food quality, choice, speed, and overall vibe in there. So every single possible category. For my last day in Vancouver, we headed to another one of my favorite restaurants called Changan. This place is known for the Chinese cuisine and especially in their Peking duck. But to start first, we got some bread with chili oil and beans. It was bread was a little cold, but I like the chili oil and the beans inside. Then we got their mysterious seafood dish. I had absolutely no idea what I was eating, but it was tasty and crunchy. So I would get it again. Maybe just would have some trouble finding it on the menu. I'll have to ask my mom for that. But after that, we got this crispy fried fish dish, which was so delicious. Each piece had the perfect amount of crunch and sweetness. Would definitely recommend. Then, I don't know why, guys, but I got a sea cucumber. I don't even know what I'm ordering at this point. Apparently, this is a delicacy, but to be honest, I prefer the other dishes a little more. It also came with rice, which was a little bit weird in my opinion. But anyways, on to the main reason we came here today, and that was for the Peking duck. They bring a table aside, light it on fire, and start cutting pieces off next to your table for you to enjoy. First up came these fatty, crispy duck skin slices, which you dip in white sugar. It was hot, fresh, and the sugar paired with the savoriness from the duck fat just melts in your mouth. It was so good. But now, here comes the meat. Okay, guys. This is the how-to tutorial. Basically, you get one of these crepes in your hand. You get this fresh duck meat. Place it on. Get a little bit of this sauce on there.
Everyone has their own dishes here. You put a cucumber on. Onion. Now you're very particular on how you wrap this, but then I like to do it this way. You close it all up. And it's a little
So bad. Wow.
The duck slices were all super tasty and fresh. The cucumbers and onions with the special sauce paired together so well to just make the perfect little bundle of joy. Plus, there was also pear and strawberry jam to cleanse your palate and get a little bit of sweetness in there too.
It's not working.
After the duck is sliced, they also brought us this soup with stock made of duck bones and also some veggies that we ordered earlier. I think it's really nice they use all parts of the duck when serving it to you, and we even had the choice of bringing the bones home to cook, but didn't do that today. However, you know I couldn't leave without dessert, so I saw this papaya with bird nest spit or something. I don't have any idea if it's actually like spit, but they say it is. I don't know how to describe it in English, but I had to try it. It came with caramel and coconut milk, which I drizzled on top, and the bird spit had a really unique glossy texture with the papaya that was warm and cozy. Overall, you can tell why this restaurant is one of my all-time favorites. For our last stop in our Vancouver food extravaganza, we stopped by Granville Island for one thing and one thing only, and that was Lee's Donuts. Although there were many distractions and pastries on the way, I had my eye on the prize.
Alright guys, this is what we got. We got a pineapple Dole Whip here. And then we have 3 donuts in here. Let's check them out. Oh my gosh. Okay. Guys, it's like warm. Wait, this is like the jelly donut one. Look at this. Oh my gosh. We got a pineapple Dole Whip here as well. I just decimated that donut, by the way. Alright guys, next up we have lemon custard. Let's see if it explodes in our mouth.
Oh my god.
Ube with coconut sprinkles on top. That's alright. It's alright. It's like a cake donut.
My mom stopped recording early in these clips to save me grace, but I'll happily let you know that I proudly finished each and every one of these donuts.
Okay.
Alright guys, so if you've watched to this point of the video, thank you so much. Obviously this is a little bit more different from my traditional video because it was mostly voiceover, but I had so much fun in Vancouver. It was so nice being back. It's actually my first time since August, if you didn't remember from the start of the video. And I just want to say that now I'm back in Montreal. The dining food here is alright, but definitely nothing like a homemade meal. And that's gonna be it for today's video. So, you know what? Comment down what your favorite restaurant or food is that I ate, and or what you saw in this video, or what you would like to try next in your own little food journey if you're in Vancouver. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.